Yes, we have breaking news. We have a verdict in the case of Florida versus Granville. Ritchie, the jury, I believe, and the judge is coming into the courtroom right now. We're going to go into the courtroom while this happens. Remember, he is charged with the murder and death of 9-year-old Felicia Williams, raping her, sexually assaulting her, dumping her body in a suitcase and then in a body of water where she was found the next day. Okay, so we know this is a death penalty case. We are watching Granville Ritchie right now. This is live in the courtroom. 9 years old Felicia Williams was when she was left alone with what Florida says this murderer. We will find out whether the jury agrees, whether the burden of proof has been fulfilled, and if it has, then the case will go to a penalty stage. But I'm getting ahead of myself because we do not know whether the jury has either convicted for the death of Felicia Williams, 9 years old. Look at that face, look at that child, how you could do that. We're going right into court right now. You're hearing the jury right now. They're saying it is their verdict. Guilty, murder, premeditation, felony murder for the aggravated child abuse. Granville Ritchie for Sugar Plum. He killed Sugar Plum. Felicia Williams, 9 years old in Florida. The judge will obviously now set a death penalty trial date because, as you know, there is a separate section, there's a separate proceeding if somebody's found guilty of death penalty murder where the defense attorneys will then try to save his life, even though he killed, according to this jury, and is now a convicted murderer for killing this 9-year-old child. Boy, what a case. I'd like to talk to and bring both of my guests in. Katie, I think you were on with me one day when we discussed this case. The defense was that somebody else must have done it, but there didn't seem to be any other person, correct?
No, I didn't see anything else there. I was really surprised it even had gotten this far. I've always thought that there was more involvement from Ebony, who was the family friend who was watching her, but it clearly puts the blame in the defendant's hands.
And Jose Nieves, when you have a penalty case and you are a defense attorney, really what you prepare for is the death penalty phase, right? You're trying to get everything you know about Granville Ritchie. Why is that when you look at a case such as this as a defense attorney?
Especially a case like this where the evidence is so overwhelmingly against your client, you want to try to put the mitigation extenuation before the court so that when they're making their decision on sentencing, they can have some mercy for your client and see what the circumstances are that may have led to the criminal act. What was the lifestyle? What was the background, the upbringing of your client, to not justify the crime, but to just give the judge more depth as to understanding of who this person is and why, what would be the reasonable and acceptable punishment for them.
And we've had a number of death penalty cases in Florida recently. They've been pretty split as to whether the jury then gave the defendant the death penalty or not. We'll have to see what happens in this case. In the meantime, we're going to take a quick break, and on the other side, we'll be back with the Amber Geiger case in Texas.